Hi Mary, how are you? You know that Antoinette is here as a verifier for your final interview.
Yeah, I'm not very happy about it, really.
About what? About
Having a verifier. I
about
don't really feel there should be a verifier.
Okay, well, we told you that we were going to get a verifier, and you did agree that you were okay that Antoinette
So
came
what's
down.
your purpose, Antoinette?
Well, just to clarify, and at the intermediate interview, my role is to make sure that the process is followed correctly and that your interview is fair and equitable. And in the guidelines from DCU, it does recommend if a verifier was present at the intermediate one, to be present at the final one. So is everybody in agreement for me to remain?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's
I
okay.
would like some, I certainly would. Is that okay?
It's
Mary?
okay, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. You're happy that Antoinette is the verifier, you don't want somebody else?
No, I'm quite
No.
happy.
Okay, good. And obviously the reason that she is here is because you haven't done well on this placement. Okay. Have you got your documentation there with you?
Yeah.
Well, this is an improvement anyway, isn't it, Mary? At least you have your
Would
documentation.
you give out to me the last day, not having it?
Exactly. Well, it's good to see that you have your documentation in your folder there.
I got the urinary catheterisation skills signed off last week. On the day off, I got it.
Okay, so you got that done.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
that's
And
all
how
good.
did that go? Did that go well for you?
It went very well.
Yeah, good. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I'm delighted you got that done.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to go through your learning plan and your power. Okay. To be honest with you, Mary, I feel you have not done well in this placement.
And I felt I did okay.
Right. And I don't feel that you are at a level 3 student.
And why not?
Okay. For a number of reasons, which I think we shall go through now. Okay. You have formative feedback written here, and I want to draw your attention to it. I want to draw your attention to this as we're going through the powers
Right, okay.
as well. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is that okay?
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
So domain 1 here is professional and ethical practice.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? So really from here, do you remember we were saying at your second interview that your aseptic technique was not good? Isn't that right?
You just made one comment, that's all.
Actually, there was more than one. If
I
you
mean, I did lots of aseptic technique with other staff nurses and they didn't have a problem.
Okay. I know on your second interview here, or for your second interview, your aseptic technique while performing that, you had your sterile gloves on prior to opening your dressings.
You know, why are you raising that now on a final interview? Like, we've discussed that. Like, you know, why raise that today? This
Okay.
was discussed at the last interview. Am I right in saying that to verify? Like, why
Yes,
would that
That's
be brought
correct,
up?
and it was highlight the areas.
Yeah, that was dealt
written
with.
was correct. What we have to ascertain now is, has there been an improvement, or has there been another incident to highlight that you haven't learned from that?
Well, I don't think that should be
feedback?
drawn now in the final interview.
Okay, Mary, can I just
So perhaps Janet
you
can
know,
clarify.
bring your attention to this, which was a week later after your interview. Aseptic dressing, you put dirty swabs on a sterile field and then proceeded with the dressing. The staff actually had to intervene to stop you.
I
So-
don't really remember that.
You don't remember it?
No.
Okay, do you not remember it? It was on the 3rd. It was actually a week after your middle interview.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
What dressing, what type of dressing was it?
Well, I wasn't here. It was one of the staff. It was Gemma that actually did this. And she
Why
had
didn't
to
she correct me at the
intervene.
time?
She did apparently correct you at the time. She said she did. And she obviously wrote in your formative feedback
No, I
sheet.
didn't sign
so
it. I haven't signed that.
I know you haven't signed it, but Gemma has written it and she has signed it here. But obviously you know this because this was in your pocket or in your folder. So I assume you know what's in your folder, what's written on it.
No, I didn't sign it, so.
Okay. You didn't sign it, but that's fine. It's still written here and it still is evidence that you hadn't improved
Okay.
on your asepsis.
Yeah.
Can I just
Okay.
ask for clarification here?
okay?
Did you get an opportunity to speak to any of the other staff that would have worked with Mary in your absence, get feedback
Yeah.
as well? I know we have written
I mean,
feedback,
this is just.
but verbal feedback
Yeah.
as well. Would you have
I
had
did,
that?
yeah, I did. And that's why I was kind of going through the domains as well with her, because I have got verbal feedback and I was talking to Gemma about this. And Gemma said that she actually stopped you in that dressing, didn't let you proceed with it and got a new pack for you and started again. So do you remember that now?
Yeah, I thought it was very rude that she went off She actually embarrassed me in front of the patient.
And how did
And actually,
she?
that was professionally the way she did it. I felt so humiliated.
The thing about it was that you couldn't have continued doing that dressing the way you were doing it because it was a danger to the patient. Okay?
Okay.
That the particular dressing was the wound was a very infected wound, a very infected wound. Isn't that right?
I did it fine the
Do you
second
remember
time.
it? And you couldn't have continued by putting dirty swabs on a sterile field and then trying to continue to clean that wound.
She didn't discuss anything with me.
Well, apparently she has. She told me that she had discussed it with you. And
Well, then
she
why
had
wouldn't I have
gone-
signed it?
I don't know why you haven't signed it. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
It's not signed.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Do you accept that? That it did happen?
Oh, I remember vaguely, yeah.
You do remember that it happened. Okay.
Can I just
Is that
perhaps
okay?
assist at this point? Mary, it was clearly identified at your intermediate interview that these were areas for her to improve on, you know, for the remainder of your placement. And I think at that time Janet had quite clearly identified the areas that we and you understood them at the time. You know, you need to improve consistently for the remainder of the placement. And it seems to identify that there is evidence to say that you haven't improved since your intermediate interview.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that's really, I think, linked to domain 1. Am I right there?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that you failed that domain.
Okay.
All right. Now, domain 2 is holistic approaches to care and the integration of knowledge. How do you feel you've
I
done
felt
that?
I did fine on that.
You felt you
Yeah,
did fine
absolutely,
on
yeah.
that? Okay.
Worked very well with staff nurses and admitted patients and linked all my theory to practice.
Okay. You feel you linked your theory to practice, did you? Okay. What about the non-reporting of vital signs and other observations?
What do you mean?
Again, do you remember
It's ridiculous.
that you didn't report vital signs? This happened prior to your middle interview as well. Again, it's written here clearly, Mary. At your second interview, you didn't report abnormal oxygen saturations.
No,
of a
again, why are you
patient.
raising that?
I'm raising that because you repeated it.
I did not repeat it.
You didn't repeat the
I
oxygen
think this is
saturation.
unfair now. This is unfair, Antoinette.
Mary, can you just listen to me for a moment till I explain what you have done here? Right? You've repeated it in that you didn't report a weight loss in a patient of 5 kilograms, and this patient, she's a long stay patient, and she's weighed weekly,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and there was at least a 5 kilogram weight loss.
I did report it.
Who did you report it
It's
to?
in the care plan.
You wrote it
I
in
wrote
the
it
care
in the care
plan.
plan.
That's right, you did write it in the care plan because it was the sister who actually spotted it in the care plan and came to me about it. Then I realised that you had actually weighed the patient. But that is a huge weight loss in a very elderly person not to report. And it is quite detrimental to that particular patient.
Why?
Because you know
Like-
who we're talking about. All right? And she's a long stay patient. All right? And 5 kilograms is a huge amount of weight loss. All right. So I'm just saying
But I
didn't.
did write it in the care plan, so it was there. It was written.
It was written in the
It
care plan.
was written in the care plan.
Yeah. But what good, I suppose, is writing something in the care plan
But
without
sure,
phone-
the
because-
staff nurse giving the report would have passed it on.
Were you not given the
No.
report on
No.
that? You weren't given
No.
the report that
No.
evening on that patient? Okay. I just need you to realise that any abnormal findings, and particularly at a level 3 student, you've only a year to qualification. I'm just saying to you now that you should have reported that. It was quite an abnormal
Well, I did
thing.
report it. It was in the care plan.
No, you didn't report it to anybody. You did write it in the care plan.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Maria, just to reiterate to you the process that Janet is following here, we've highlighted areas for you to improve on, and Janet quite clearly...
Yeah, but she's gone back to the same...
No, I think in my capacity I feel that she's trying to demonstrate that this is what our expectation was of you. And it was clearly identified to you that you need to report things to the staff nurse. Staff nurse maintains overall responsibility of the patient. You have to report things because that's a change in the patient condition. And that was clearly identified to you at your intermediate interview.
Right, okay.
It demonstrates that perhaps, what do you feel that it demonstrates, linking theory to practice? Or
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, just not. It's a whole communication thing as well. You know, you're not communicating with the staff that you're working with. You
Right.
know, because we all have to work as part of a team,
Yeah.
and we all need to support each other. And if we
I
don't
do work
know,
part of the team.
but that's what I'm saying, Mary. You need to report these abnormal findings to us, so that we can intervene on the patient's behalf, so we can do something about it.
Still say it was written.
Okay.
Anyway,
has there been any other incidents where you didn't demonstrate to be able to assess, plan, implement and evaluate care?
I
is
think
this
you're
all
right.
your comments?
No,
Look,
Mary, it's not all.
I don't feel this is unfair. It's all just her comments.
Well, the process would be that Janet would have got feedback from various members of staff that would have worked with you in Janet's absence, and she'd be relying on written feedback and verbal feedback.
How come my co-preceptor told me
Yeah.
I was improving?
And
Dan said the co-preceptor worked with me and said I was improving.
Well, you know, from Janet's point of view, she gets feedback from various members of staff and the clinical nurse manager that would have worked with you and make a collective decision. Has the improvement been sustained? That's the key. Improvement has to be sustained throughout.
Well, I
the
find that's
remainder of the
conflicting then.
improvement.
How do you mean?
One person's telling me I'm doing well, another person's telling me I'm not.
Well, I'm going from what people have reported back to me and what I have observed from working with you. Okay? And from what I have observed and from the reporting back of other people, you have not reached a level 3. And I cannot, in all good consciousness, pass
I just don't agree
you
with this.
on this placement. Is that all right? Okay. So that's domain 3.
What else? Have I done anything right? Anything good in this placement?
Well, I mean, you have done. I mean, you're quite good with patients in some ways. You know, you're quite kind to patients, isn't that right? Yeah.
Mm.
Your timekeeping is very good. You're in on time every day, and you know you're back from break on time. You know, and you know we have been communicating with each other and that telling you what to do. And sometimes, you know, the majority of times you will do that, you know. So domain 4, I feel that you've done, which is the organisation and management of care. And I think, you know, you've been taken 2 and 3 patients, and generally overall I think you've done relatively
I'm actually doing something good.
well. Yeah, I do feel that you've done relatively well in your organisation, in your general organisation
Well, that's great.
of care.
One domain.
Yes, I think domain 4, that I would be happy to pass you in domain 4.
You know, I don't agree with this interview.
You know.
I don't agree with any of this. I really don't.
God, Antoinette, I feel awful.
I
I
know
really do.
this is a very difficult thing to have to do, but you know, in the long run, it's in the best interest of the student. You know, you have come up with the evidence to say that this is what's not going right, what the student isn't improving in. It's very difficult, but in the interest of patient safety and for the development of the student to get the best potential,
Yeah,
you know, it's in the best interest.
I know. I mean, I know I can't pass her. I know it's the right decision,
Yeah.
but I feel absolutely awful.
Well, I think
You
you
know,
know,
I
the
really
best
do.
thing, you know, to do is we'll reconvene after lunch, and that'll give me a chance to speak to the student, and we can have another chat as well.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
You're doing
grand.
very, very well. This is the difficult part of the
I know.
preceptor role,
Yeah,
as well as looking after your patient.
I know. God. Grand, thanks. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Janet.
I'm glad you came back.
Oh, we've had a chat.
And you know Antoinette is here as well, and I know you.
Antoinette.
We had a
Yes.
chat.
Yeah, you've had.
Are
a
we all
chat.
happy now to continue?
Yeah. Just to get it over with now.
Is that all right?
Yeah, we just finish it.
Okay. Just to recap on where we've been basically with it. With domain 1, really, which is professional and ethical practice, you really need to improve on your infection control. So we were talking about the dressings there, isn't that right? So really I'd like you to read the hygiene policy, infection control policy, and improve on your aseptic technique.
Right.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Fair enough. We went through domain 2 then, isn't that right, which is holistic approaches to care and integration of knowledge. Just to realise that you do need to report abnormal findings to staff.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So really for that, you should maybe, if you need to go back and look up your normal.
I do know the normal.
You do?
values. Yeah.
You do know the normal. Okay. Right. So okay. If you need to look them up, maybe but you need to understand that you have to report anything that's abnormal.
You said that. Yeah.
Is that okay? And in domain 3, because of which is interpersonal relationships and communication, the non-reporting of that.
Yeah.
Is that
Fair
all right? Okay. Having said that, domain 4, which is organisation and management of care, you were fairly good on this.
You're actually good at something.
Yeah. You were. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You were, in
Great.
fairness, because the patients that you got, their basic care was being met, and I think you've certainly passed domain 4. I think you've done enough at level 3 to pass domain 4.
If I can do 4, I can do the rest of them.
Exactly, yeah. All right. Domain 5, on the other hand, which is personal and professional practice. I feel you've fell down in this domain as well, for a couple of reasons. The first being that on your learning plan you said, and very much, that you were going to learn about pneumonia, and that was discussed at your second interview as well. I know because we were doing a question and answer session with you on pneumonia, wasn't that one of the
it's a very complex
items?
topic.
It is, but you didn't really know anything about it when I was asking you about it.
I know a fair bit. You asked an awful lot of hard questions.
I don't think I did.
No, you did.
Mary.
Well, it's up to Janet to ascertain at the level that you're at and the exposure that you had got to the ward, looking after the type of patients, to ask the appropriate questions. Would you have felt that the questions were appropriate?
I felt
Janet?
they were, because Mary, really all I was asking you was what causes it.
All the different types of pneumonia,
Such
all the categories.
categories of pneumonia? No, Mary. They were working on a respiratory ward.
Yeah, you asked very, very hard questions.
Yeah. So
But anyway,
the categories of
yeah,
pneumonia.
okay.
Yeah. Did you read that article?
Half read it.
You have read it, did you? So in fairness, you haven't learned what you said that you would learn. Because, your learning plan, it's a contract. You're saying that you will do these things. And you haven't. I know you haven't, because I've questioned you on it. And she wasn't able to answer. Okay. So nebulizers was one of the things that you said you would very much learn, because a lot of patients were on it, isn't that right? And you were heard given inaccurate information
What
to
kind
a
of inaccurate
patient,
information?
and the staff nurse had to intervene.
I don't remember that.
Do you not remember that?
No.
Do you not remember the staff intervening when you were trying to educate a patient on the use of his nebulizers?
What I remember is the staff nurse jumped in and gave it the information. I didn't get the opportunity to give the information.
And what information were you giving?
The patient asked about nebulizers, so
Yeah.
I was about to give the information. The staff nurse jumped in.
Okay. And
that took away an opportunity for me.
apparently you said that the patient would be only on the nebulizers once a day, where in actual fact they were on them 4 times a day.
Oh, I would never say that. Sure, they're
You-
always
you-
on 4 times a day.
Yes,
That's
but you were,
normal.
that is quite normal, but you were telling the patient that they were only going to be on it once a day, isn't that right?
No.
You weren't?
As I said, the staff nurse jumped in before I could even give any information.
Right.
So why would I say once a day when it's always 4 times a day?
You were also heard saying that they were very good for smokers in particular, which, okay, they are, but the patient was asking you how exactly did the nebulizers work? How was this going to help them to breathe more normally.
I think just the staff nurse. I remember that now, actually. And
Do
I
you remember that?
in actual fact, what I can tell you is that the staff nurse just jumped in and gave the information. I didn't get a chance.
Okay.
I felt just because, you know, the student, she just jumped in because she was near. She just jumped in with the information.
Who did
So
the
that's
staff?
what happened.
The staff nurse
Yeah, staff nurse.
jumped in. Okay. Now she did write it there, so
Yeah, but I felt she just overpowered
Yeah.
me and just didn't give me the chance to talk to the patient. And that would have been one of my actually I could have got that signed off.
yeah, exactly.
However,
Can I
That's
just
what
seek
you say. I
clarification
don't
here
know.
from
Maybe
Mary?
we need to.
Well, why do you feel
You
that
know.
it would be in the staff nurse's role maybe to intervene? There's two situations there where
she
you
didn't intervene. She jumped in and gave the information.
But why do you think the staff nurse perhaps may have deemed it necessary to do that?
She just jumped in and she didn't give me the opportunity.
Would you not perhaps reconsider that the staff nurse was giving, your information was incorrect and that could be detrimental to the patient?
But sure, I
It's
didn't even
the-
get to tell the patient anything.
Well, from what I can ascertain from Janet, that the staff nurse, you were in that health promotion exercise with the patient, opportunity should I say, you were given misinformation, and it's the staff nurse's responsibility, because they maintain the overall responsibility for the patient, to make sure that you're given
I don't agree
correct
with that. No, I don't agree with that.
information.
Okay.
In the
so-
interest of patient safety.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but it's not what happened.
Okay. Well,
Janet,
then
once
we
again,
might-
did you clarify, did you get...
I did talk to it was Anne-Marie, I think, who said that, and she said she had to
And would you have spoken to the
clarify
student
it.
afterwards?
As far as I
No,
know, Anne-Marie
no,
did say
no.
she spoke to you.
No,
She did say that she spoke to you.
I don't know. I don't recall that at all.
Right.
I was annoyed because it took away my opportunity.
Yeah, well, it's one word against the other.
Mm.
Anne-Marie isn't actually on today. Anne-Marie did tell me that she had
I'd
spoken
like to talk to
you
Anne-Marie.
about it, and we will,
It's fine.
because
Yeah.
Anne-Marie is on. Are you on tomorrow
No,
again?
I'm finished today.
You're finished. This is your last day. You're not on for
No.
another day. Well, perhaps you'd like to come back in then, to talk to Anne-Marie, because she told me this. She has it written.
Okay.
And in fairness, I have to go with that. Do you
Okay.
understand that?
Yeah,
That I have
yeah.
to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's, I'm afraid, domain 1, 2, 3, and 5.
So
that
failing me basically.
You're failing in. Yes, I am failing you on this placement. Really, I feel with another opportunity to repeat this placement that you could do very well.
But do I have to come back to this ward?
Well, personally, I would like you to come back to this ward because, to be honest, because I feel you can.
Well,
You're capable of
You've been very hard on me.
doing.
Well, I think at this point in time we'll finish off the interview, and we will encourage students to come back to the area that they had worked in before and would have needed, they would have needed areas for improvement. But that's
But
something
then-
that's something that we can talk at afterwards, after we've
Okay.
finished
After
it.
failing.
But we'll concentrate on getting
Well, I will be
the interview,
appealing this.
the interview done.
Okay, you've a perfect right to appeal it, Mary. Absolutely, Mary.
So I
and-
can appeal it?
You can, and you need to speak to your programme leader about the appeals process. But as I said, in relation to perhaps coming back to the same area, to repeat the placement in the same area, that's something that we can discuss afterwards. And if you feel you don't want to come back to the area, we need to discuss the process in relation to that.
Okay.
But in relation to appeals, you need to speak to the programme leader.
Okay.
But we'll concentrate on getting one thing at a time. We'll get the interview finished with.
Okay.
All right.
So that's basically the action plan there that we've devised, and to identify your outcomes to be achieved. And your action plan is in domain 1 to link your policies to practice and learn your local policies,
Yes.
and obviously to practice your wound dressings and aseptic techniques.
Okay.
And you can even get in touch with the university to do that up in the
Mhm.
skills lab again.
Okay.
Okay, if you like. Domain 2, you need to review your normal vital signs.
I know the normal.
And well, I think you perhaps need to review the normal vital signs and other observations, and to realise that you must report any abnormal findings.
Okay.
Okay. Domain 3 is kind of linked to that of the non-reporting of vital signs, or the non-reporting of incidents. Okay. and domain 5 then you need to achieve your learning objectives and to improve your knowledge on what you had said that you were going to learn. All right. Having said that, I think your time management has improved, as I was saying, with domain 4.
So, any other positive feedback that you can give me?
I think that you're very kind to patients, all right, and you're always very well presented.
I take pride in my
work.
uniform.
Absolutely, and I can see that. You know, you are always very well presented. And to be honest with you, Mary, I feel just another opportunity to repeat this placement, and with guidance, I think you're well capable of passing it. Okay? I think maybe this might be just a glitch, you know, and when you come back, I feel that, you know, with work on these, that you can pass it, and I hope you will come back to us here.
I don't agree with signing it.
Okay, by signing it doesn't really mean that you agree with it, all right? But by signing it, it just means that the process has been followed and that you have been failed on this placement in 4 domains out of 5.
Does my CPC know?
Your CPC, we'll get in touch with her now as well, yes, yeah.
I want to talk to CPC.
Yeah, we can certainly get in touch with her. Okay. Is that
So
all
I
right?
have to sign it?
All right.
Yes, you're signing that you agree with the process. Doesn't it mean
Yeah.
that you're agreeing with what happened at the interview?
You know. Okay. So, you all want to sign?
Sign.
Just sign first.